Yep. Going on, Wes. We're it doesn't feel that big. Just using a cranker crab. We're just down here in Tamboon. We've been fishing for what that been now, probably 2 hours. We pulled up at the boat ramp and a heap of guys were just bringing big blacks in, and yeah, he's not very big, this one, but it's the first fish for the system for us. We just seen some guys go past and they were just trolling hard bodies for bream in here, which is a little bit different. We were sort of cursing them a little bit because we seen them pick up a couple of fish and we hadn't caught anything yet. So yeah, it's good to finally get one, and we'll get him in and let him go and keep on going. Yep, just onto another Tamboon Black Bream. We're trying up near the mouth, which you can probably see in the background over there. And we did really no good. I got that other fish earlier, but wasn't really that good of a size. And then had a boat come over to us and tell us we needed to go back and move our cast. So we just thought we'd change spots, do something we know, which is come and fish the flats. So we're just at the mouth here of where the river comes into the Tamboon Lake area. And I said to Wes, when we get into about 2 metres, we should be starting to catch fish, and it's exactly what happened. So I've gone back to the jackal squirrel, and yeah, managed to get this guy. I got one of probably, what, 3 casts early, do you think, Wes? And wasn't as big, but this guy looks like a baby compared to stuff we've seen coming into the ramp. So we'll get him in, get him unhooked and put him back in the water and try and get one of the big ones. You can see here, that's just the jackal chubby. Oh, sorry, the jackal squirrel. So a nice narrow bait fish profile. Very good, let's get him back in the water. Alright, so one thing that we've had a couple of questions on the Facebook page is about catching bream on lures, and the technique that both Wes and I have been using, both here in Tamboon and in Malakuta, is just slow rolling hard bodies. And essentially all that is casting out and having a slow retrieve, so a slow wind of the handle, and bringing that hard body in. And it's the same technique that we were using in Brogo for the bass. And so we were just working the edges in Brogo. Here in Tamboon and in Malakuta we're working the flats, so generally we're in 2.5 metres to half a metre of water. And just getting the hard body to swim down, hit the bottom, kick up a bit of mud, and then come back up and keep on going. Another thing which seems to be working here in Tamboon is to give it a couple little twitches. So still keeping that slow roll go, but just throwing in 1-2 twitches every couple of seconds. And the last 2 bream that I've picked up have taken the bite on the twitch. So hopefully that keeps on working, and we'll get on to a few more.
Alright, second morning, Tamboon. We got a few fish this afternoon. I think we got about half a dozen in the end. We come in on the flat and just threw some hard bodies along the flat. We got back in to a bloodbath pretty much. It's obvious the locals don't respect the bream and the ages of the bream when they're big fish. Down here we you get really pissed off really. You come and we all respect the ages of the bream and how much pleasure we get on catching them and letting them go, because they're such a beautiful fish. And you know, fish in their 40s, and you got guys bragging, you know, we come down here and we've got a freezer full of 30 fish. We know we can constantly get 30 fish every time we come down. And one guy told us his best was 51 centimetres, and they don't, and he just killed it. And they don't take anything under 35. And look, this mentality is a little bit redneckish, if you ask me. We went to bed pretty pissed off, just knowing that such a cracking bream area is just being raped and pillaged by all these guys. Yeah, it's legal and they've got a right to take fish, but how much is how much? And I think the government needs to put a bit of a possession limit in, not just a daily take limit. Like these guys they know how much they can take. They go out, take what they can, put them in their freezer, come back out and do it again in the afternoon. And like, we're the only ones throwing lures. Like we're the only guys here that would be practicing catch and release. You know, we got to this place and I think there's 13 boats on Tamboon today. And to me, and they're just taking big fish, like all big fish. So that's my rant. Let's hope we get a few today. We're going to fish till 10. It's 7:30 now, and then head off to Yukonbean. Hopefully, we're not as cranky tonight.
All right, it's Friday morning. We're down in Tamboon still. Well, he's not too bad. I underestimated him a bit, and we've been out here probably for about, I don't know, 5 minutes. We just started flicking this flat out at I think it's called Pelican Point, and yeah, we moved into, what are we, about 2.5 metres. Got a nice black brim on here, and I'll see if Wes can pass me that net. I think it's tucked away, and we'll get this guy in the boat. Alright, I think that's a pretty good example of what this fishery has to offer. Nice black brim. Caught this one, same setup as what we're using in Malakuta, 2000 size Daiwa reel. I'm running 6 pound braid, 6 pound leader on this one on a Samurai Reaction 2 to 6 pound rod. That's the jackal squirrel there. Very nice. Let's see if we can get at least another couple bigger than this guy. After what we've seen coming into the ramp, I think that's not too hard to expect, I think.
Alright, just hooked up. I just tied on something a little bit different to what we've been using. Lipless crankbait. Like a little, I think they call them a baby vibe or something. It's got Asian writing on it. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what it is yet. It's probably a flathead. He's alright. Literally first cast.
You didn't even do anything, did you?
I did a lot to him, I threw it out. It's all about the cast and the throw. Still not a huge fish for Tamboon, I wouldn't think. That's a little lure in there. One of those things you've got in your tackle box forever. I reckon that's probably 50.
Those hooks look pretty rusty too. How long's it been in?
Quality. It's been in there forever and a day, Tim. I reckon I've probably had that lure for 7 years. But anyway, it's caught the fish today. There's a nice little fish in the sun there. I'd like to say a technique, but it just cast out and it obviously right in the right spot. Very similar to the size of fish of yours, Tim.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a touch bigger, I reckon.
Yep. Whatever. Just on to another one. Me and Tim have found this little stick, which is obviously a massive tree because we're in 3.5 metres of water. In the middle of the bay here, and we've picked up 2 fish off it already. This will be our 3rd, I hope. Another little, not huge fish. I reckon I'll just lift him on. Famous last words. There he is. But he's still a solid little fish, like he's best part of 600 grams. But yeah, only another little black, but at least we're catching them.
So Wes and I have just been continuing around this little stick that we were talking about earlier, and I changed over. I was using a cranky crab before, just in a lightweight. Wasn't having too much luck on it, so I changed over to an OSP dunk. They're a pretty deep diving hard body, so Wes was continuing to cast at the snag, which is out this side. I thought I'd try and aim for a bit shallower water and bring it back into the depths. We're in 2 metres now, and yeah, picked up this guy. I think he's probably our best one so far. See if he wants to play it nice for the camera. So you can see the big bib on that lure there. Nice dark colour. They're obviously feeding off the bottom pretty heavily. 2 of Wes's fish has just picked up. He's just using a lipless crank. And they've just picked it straight up off the bottom. So I thought if I get this deep diving lure, start bumping it into the bottom, slow rolling it like I talked about before, and yeah, this guy came up came up tight, which was good.
I'ma keep it going. I'ma keep it going.
I literally just said to Tim, last cast in Tamboon. Cast 10 o'clock, we said we'd fish till 10 and then head off to Yukonbean. Cast it out, let it sit because it's been a really slow bite. They've been picking it up off the bottom. Lift it up, there he is. I would say it's another Tamboon little Black Bream. I don't think it's a big fish again. They just, yeah, they fight like wet rags, which is a bit disappointing. He's an alright fish, he's probably only about 700. Yeah, look, he's not a big fish either. Still a nice solid fish, you'd be happy with that. Bring fishing any day of the week, you know, like.
Alright, we're back at the boat ramp. We've just finished up at Tamboon. We gave ourselves to about 10 o'clock and we thought that'll give us enough time here to give it a go, and then we've got to move on to the Yukonbean if we want to be in with a chance to finishing off the trip that we've got planned. So yeah, we fished yesterday afternoon. We got a couple of fish between us. Wasn't anything extraordinary.
Not what we expected.
Well,
anyway,
it was
like,
extraordinary. It wasn't extraordinary.
Yeah, exactly. Wasn't what we expected. We kind of, you know, were told tales of massive bream and.
Well, we seen massive bream when we came in. The guys were pulling in kilo and a half fish, knocking them on the head, cleaning them all up, whatever. Yeah. Which is a bit disappointing to see that they sort of didn't have the respect for the trophy fish that they are, and the trophy system that's down here. We've got to get back here sometime. Probably spend a bit more time here than the couple of hours we've given it.
Yeah, and look, we turned up thinking we'll fish the edges, hard bodies, plastics, whatever we had to do, and we ended up having to change tact a bit. We come into one of the bays that we see. We had a look on. What we did, we struggled a bit yesterday. We come to the river mouth where we figured the fresh would be coming out and there'd be a bit of food there for the fish. We got half a dozen fish there yesterday afternoon. Today we thought did we give it one hit? No, we didn't. We went straight over the corner.
Yeah, straight over to
went straight over the corner.
Pelican Point, I think
Pelican Point, where we looked on Google Maps and we thought that looks like a good spot. It looked like it shallowed off. We found a bit of a snag right in the middle there.
Didn't show up on the sounder.
Didn't show up on the sounder. We just seen the top of it. We got all our fish around that pretty much this morning, didn't we?
Sitting in about, what was it, 2 metres, 2.5 metres?
2.5 metres, and we just looked hard-bodied vibes, and
mine were on divers.
Yeah, yours was on the dunk.
Yeah, the OSP dunk, and the jackal squirrel again.
But like the best fish we got today was probably 960 grams. We had a quick measure and a quick weigh, which is not the big fish we were hoping for, but we've got most of the fish I think have head out to the ocean and. With this inlet opening in the last 3 days.
Yeah, all the bait fishers are just sitting up at the mouth of the lagoon here, and yeah, obviously from the way that we were catching the fish are just scooting around, feeding off the bottom, and
they're literally just picking the lure off the bottom. Like they would never
didn't even have to work it, and that was it.
Pretty much pick it up off the bottom. But you know that's Tamboon done.
Yep.
We're off to Yukonbean now to hit a bit of fresh water. It's the last section of our saltwater part of the trip. We're having a cracking trip. We've had some good campsites. Look, tonight's campsite, probably not the best campsite. There's a lot of people close by.
Right on the boat ramp. Right
on the boat ramp though, but you know, this is where we want to be, and we want to be right next to the water. Compared to the Malakuta site, not a scratch.
Yeah.
But
and it's pretty expensive here. I think it's about $36 a night for a bush camp, drop toilet, no facilities apart from that. Everything else is bring your own.
Where Malakuta, we spent $41, I think.
Yeah.
We had to pay for mooring. We got a site right on the water. Our boat was right in front of us, and we hot showers, good toilets, good facilities, great little spot all around.
All right, well let's get going and
let's go and hit some trout.
Yeah, go get some trout.